Varied with Mass Support here. I wanted to share another grounding tool with you today. It's called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's based in the five senses. So there are some folks that this is not going to work for as much. And we'd love to hear from folks if you know of ways to adapt this technique based on your needs and your abilities. So the five senses. So the idea is 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can sense, you can touch, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. And there are a couple of ways to do this. The way that I learned was things that are present that you can access right now. So I think of 5 things that I can see. So I can see the yellow wall, I can see my computer screen. And the idea is if I'm in distress, I'm paying a lot of attention to the 1 thing or the 3 things that are really distressing, and I'm not paying attention to what my body needs. I'm not paying attention to what my body is telling me other than stress, stress, stress. So one way to do this is to shift the focus onto perhaps neutral or comforting stimuli around you aside from the source of stress. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to remember sensations that are comforting. So 5 things that if I see, I'm going to feel calm. So maybe a really nice sunset, or somebody that I really miss, or my dog. 4 things I can hear that would make you feel comforted that you don't have access to now, but like somebody's laugh someone that you care about a lot, the sound of their laughter, or a musician that you really like playing. And then something you can sense, something you can touch. So for me, that's a little easy because one of my first coping tools that I came up with when I was getting started was walking barefoot on grass. That's a sensation that I find really comforting. For you, that might not work. These are just my examples from what I have handy, from what I find comforting. And so yours are going to look different, but these are just some options. And then smells that I find comforting, for example, citrus fruit. I grew up near a lot of citrus groves, and so that's something that I find really comforting. Also, paint, like paint that you would paint your wall with. That has a lot of good memories for me from my childhood. And then taste, I would probably use either citrus, oranges, clementines, that sort of thing, or maybe some other store-bought snacks that I would eat when I was a kid that I find comforting. You can also think about dishes, foods that you find comforting now during the holiday season, which is in full swing right now. A lot of comfort that people get is from shared foods. And so dishes that you're used to having every year at the holidays, that can be something that can be distressing to be missing. It can also be something that you lean on as a source of comfort. That's really up to you. There's no wrong answer to this. So the exercise again is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can touch, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. And this can be grounding based in what's around you, and it can be instead things that you remember that you don't have access to now, but you can think of them hopefully fondly. Try to get through whatever's going on right now. So, as I mentioned, this is a coping tool that is not a grounding tool, that is not going to work for everyone. And if you have ideas for how to adapt this, we'd love to know. Please share them with us in the comments. And I think that's it for now. Thanks.